just a few hours ago, you announced initial manufacturing for a vaccine that is going to be made there in Michigan, in Kalamazoo, as I understand it. What does this all mean in the fight against COVID-19, and is this a step in reopening your state?
Well, we know this. Everyone wants to be out of a stay-home order. And yet we know, too, that if you listen to epidemiologists and our public health experts, we can't resume normal life until we have a vaccine. We can't resume normal life until we have a vaccine. We can't resume normal life until we have a vaccine.
But if you really want to say thank you, make their life easier by not getting sick and not making someone else sick. An individual's role is act responsibly and intelligently for yourself, for your family, and for your community. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. I mean, that's the basic step, right? Socially distance. If you can't socially distance, you're in New York City, you're going to walk up next to a person, wear a mask. Okay, it's not the most attractive garment ever created. So what? Well, I don't like, it feels uncomfortable, unnatural. So what? You want to honor the healthcare workers and the people who literally gave their lives in some cases for what they did here? Act responsibly. Wear a mask. I know the weather's getting warmer. I know people want to get out of the house. Fine. Wear a mask and socially distance. That is your social responsibility.
I want to talk to you about these demonstrators that I saw over the weekend in your state capital. A number of them armed. I remember vividly a few years ago being in Ferguson, Missouri, and protesters there, many of them protesting. They weren't armed. They were referred to as thugs. These men and women, many of them carrying flags, walking around with their guns in your state capitol, not adhering to social distancing orders. They would appear to be in violation of a number of laws. Why weren't they arrested?
So unfortunately, right now in Michigan, we see a small number of people. It looks large on television.
You're telling me you're 100% certain that CBS News Corporation, National, staged a fake event. They faked the news. They faked the reality and broadcasted that to all of their audience last Friday on CBS This Morning.
100%, absolutely.
Only 6 states have reported more cases than Michigan, but fewer than 2% of its people have been tested for the virus. In our series on the state of coronavirus testing, Adriana Diaz shows how Michigan is trying to improve a system that has failed some of its people.
But the governor says testing, above all else, will help determine when to fully reopen.
Apparently, the news crew wanted more people in the line because they knew it was scheduled.
Well, we knew they were coming. We had no clue that we were going to have to, do fake patients.
Gotcha. And did she tell you guys, hey, you're not actually getting tested?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she did. Just just to make it look busy for the news because they were right there in
That's crazy. Because I didn't see you guys do the swab at all. I just saw you talking with them. And then I was talking with the other girl.
There were a couple real patients, which made it worse. They probably just wanted it to look busy. Is my guess.
Is this the fake line?
Yes, yep, that's it.
So the people in the cars are not patients?
Majority of them. I do know from talking with the testers that one or two of them were real patients, which added to their frustration because this line sat there for a while so they could organize the shot.
So they've made a line of cars with medical personnel in the cars as opposed to patients.
Correct.
And the viewer does not know that.
Correct. You shouldn't be afraid to say the truth because in the end, truth always wins.
But but when you think about this is a state of 10 million people, this is a small contingent that came out and made political statements. They carried nooses and Confederate flags and swastikas. And yet, while we're focusing on they're carrying automatic rifles, that is legal in Michigan. It is not advisable. It is contrary to all of the CDC best practices. It's contrary to what the Trump White House is saying that we should be doing. And yet they are out there to demonstrate. But what I want to point out is that the vast majority of people in Michigan are doing the right thing. And it's because of them that this curve has flattened. It is because of them that we have saved lives in this process and can have the conversation about turning the dial and re-engaging sectors of our economy. But the fact of the matter is that kind of rhetoric, that kind of ugly political rallying is only making it harder for us to re-engage, which is the sad irony, is that demonstrations like that create the need to continue this aggressive stance that we've had to take to save lives.
Now, I've directed Superintendent Brown to order all police districts to give special attention to these parties. And this is how it's going to be. We will shut you down. We will cite you. And if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail. Period. There should be nothing unambiguous about that. Don't make us treat you like a criminal. But if you act like a criminal and you violate the law and you refuse to do what is necessary to save lives in the city in the middle of a pandemic, we will take you to jail, period.